When narcissists get older, they do this. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Who do you want to be when you grow older? Not what you want to do, not where you want to live, but who do you want to become? Because the truth is, as the years go by, every single one of us is carving out a legacy, one choice at a time. Now, let's talk about narcissists. Maybe you've met one, maybe you've been hurt by one. Or maybe, just maybe, there's a little piece of that energy in each of us because nobody's perfect. But here's what happens when narcissists get older. They either transform or they self-destruct. Yes, you heard me. Narcissists don't get to defy the rules of life. They don't escape the mirror of time. That self-centered, manipulative energy, it either eats them alive or forces them to change. And that's where the real lesson comes in for all of us. We don't have to wait until life humbles us to wake up. We can take a stand today to become something greater than the person we were yesterday. Let me show you how. Keynotes to transform and rise. Reflection is non-negotiable. The older narcissists get, the more their unchecked behaviors isolate them. They lose trust, respect, and connection. But when you reflect, you win clarity. The greatest power you can have is self-awareness. Your legacy is built today. Narcissists cling to control and appearances, but over time, that facade goes. Instead of chasing power, chase purpose. What seeds are you planting today that will grow into your legacy tomorrow? Relationships are the real wealth. Narcissists often burn bridges, leaving them alone when they need others most. Invest in people, not just in your ambitions. Love and trust are the treasures that money and status can't buy. Adapt or erode. Life will humble you whether you're ready or not. Narcissists resist change, but greatness demands adaptability. Embrace growth, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. The only constant in life is change. Empathy is strength, not weakness. Narcissists avoid vulnerability, but the truth is, empathy is a superpower. It builds bonds, fuels trust, and brings fulfillment. Never underestimate the strength of being kind and compassionate. Your ego is not your friend. Narcissists serve their ego at the expense of their soul. But a strong person knows when to silence their ego and let wisdom lead. Surrendering your ego doesn't make you weak, it makes you unstoppable. It's never too late to transform. Some narcissists do change. When faced with the truth of their lives, some choose growth, healing, and redemption. And if they can do it, so can you. No matter your past, no matter your mistakes, the power to rewrite your story is in your hands. Now, I'm not here to judge anyone, and neither should you. Life isn't about looking back with regret, it's about looking forward with intention. So let me ask you again, who do you want to become? When you're older, what do you want people to say about you that you took or that you gave, that you broke people down or that you lifted them up? Today is the day to decide. Step into the mirror of your life and ask yourself the hard questions. Don't wait for time to humble you. Rise above it, embrace your power, and choose to become the person you were always meant to be. Because when the final chapter of your story is written, make no mistake, you want it to be a masterpiece. Thank you. Let me know if you'd like further refinement or adjustments. Reflection is non-negotiable. Life has a way of holding up a mirror, doesn't it? And that mirror doesn't care about your excuses, your titles, or your distractions. It shows you what is real. For narcissists, reflection is terrifying. Why? Because it forces them to confront the emptiness behind the facade. But for those of us committed to growth, reflection is the key to transformation. Self-reflection isn't just sitting in silence and thinking. It's about asking the tough questions. Who have I become? Who am I becoming? What patterns am I repeating? This process is raw, it's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Growth is messy, but stagnation is lethal. The challenge most people face is their fear of what they'll see. They avoid reflection because they don't want to confront their failures or flaws. But let me tell you something powerful, your flaws are not your enemy. They are your teachers. They are there to guide you to a better version of yourself. Every great leader, every remarkable human being has mastered the art of self-reflection. They use it to uncover blind spots, to adjust course, and to elevate their lives. But they didn't wait for the world to tell them who they are. They went inward and took ownership. Imagine what would happen if you made reflection a daily habit. Imagine the clarity you'd gain, the power you'd unlock. You'd stop running from your truth and start walking boldly in it. That's the gift of reflection. It strips away illusions and gives you the tools to design your future. Don't let life humble you before you're ready. Be proactive. Set aside time every day to look in that mirror. And don't just glance, stare. See yourself for who you are today and who you have the potential to become. The narcissist avoids this process because they're terrified of the truth. But you're not afraid. You have the courage to confront your reality and change it. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Reflection is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. It's a commitment to yourself and your vision. And the more you practice it, the stronger and more aligned you become. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. You're not here to stay the same. You're here to evolve, to grow, to become unstoppable. But that journey starts with the willingness to see yourself fully, flaws, strengths, and all. Because when you know yourself, no one can stop you. So don't fear the mirror. Embrace it, use it. Let it guide you to the life you've always dreamed of. Because the person you're destined to become is waiting for you to claim them. Your legacy is built today. Legacy. Just saying the word sends shivers down your spine, doesn't it? It's the story people tell about you long after you're gone. And here's the truth, you're writing that story right now with every decision, every action, every word you speak. The narcissists, they obsess over their legacy, but for all the wrong reasons. They want power, recognition, control. But true legacy, it's not about what you accumulate, it's about what you contribute. It's about the lives you touch, the impact you make, and the ripples you create in this world. What kind of seeds are you planting today? Are you sowing love, courage, and positivity, or are you scattering doubt, fear, and division? Because make no mistake, your actions today will bloom into the fruits of your legacy tomorrow. The question is, will it be a garden or a wasteland? Most people think legacy is something they worry about later, maybe in their 60s or 70s. But let me tell you, legacy is not built in the future. It's built in the now. The way you show up in the small moments of life is what defines your greatness. Think about the people you admire most. Was it their achievements that left a mark, or was it their kindness, their strength, their integrity? Legacy isn't about impressing people, it's about inspiring them. It's about giving them permission to dream bigger, to love harder, to live fuller. And here's the kicker, you don't need to be famous or wealthy to leave a legacy. You just need to be intentional. Every conversation you have, every hand you extend, every ounce of value you add, it all counts. Narcissists miss this entirely. They're too focused on the applause, the image, the spotlight. But the spotlight fades. What lasts is the light you ignite in others. You have the power to start building your legacy today, right now. Stop waiting for the right time or the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. Be the person who leaves people better than you found them. When you walk into a room, bring energy, bring love, bring possibility. Let people feel your presence, not because you're loud or commanding, but because you're real and giving. Legacy isn't about being remembered for your achievements. It's about being remembered for your contributions. What did you give? Who did you lift? How did you make this world a better place? It's time to shift your focus. Stop chasing success and start chasing significance. Success fades, but significance lives forever. Your legacy is your gift to the world. Make it extraordinary. Relationships are the real wealth. Think about the most joyful moments of your life. Were they about things, money, achievements, or were they about the people you shared those moments with? The truth is, no matter how much success you chase, the real measure of wealth lies in your relationships. Narcissists don't understand this. They treat relationships as transactions. What can I get? How can I win? What's in it for me? But over time, that mindset leaves them isolated. No trophy, no amount of power, no fleeting admiration can fill the void left by a lack of genuine connection. So let me ask you, how are you investing in your relationships today? Are you giving your time, your energy, your love freely, or are you holding back? Because relationships, like any investment, grow when you nurture them. They deepen when you show up fully. Some people treat relationships like a luxury, something to tend to when they have time, but you can't put connection on a to-do list and expect it to flourish. Relationships are not side projects, they're the foundation of a fulfilling life. When you pour love, empathy, and kindness into your relationship, something magical happens. You start to attract people who reflect that energy back to you. You build a tribe, a family, a circle of support that becomes your greatest asset. But here's the thing, relationships are not always easy. They require effort, vulnerability, and patience. And that's exactly why they're so valuable. They force you to grow, to communicate, to understand. They teach you lessons that no book, no seminar, no success story ever could. Narcissists avoid this work because it requires humility. They resist the vulnerability that builds true intimacy. But you, my friend, are capable of so much more. You have the courage to let people in, to let them see you, not just the polished version, but the real you. You don't need perfect relationships, you just need authentic ones, and authenticity starts with you. Show up as your true self, flaws and all. Give without expecting anything in return. Love because it's who you are, not because of what you'll get back. Every moment you spend nurturing a relationship is a moment you're building your wealth, not the kind you can count in dollars, but the kind that counts when it truly matters. When the hard days come, and it won't be your achievements that carry you through. It will be the people who believe in you, who stand by you, who remind you of your strength. So take a moment today to reach out. Call that friend, hug your partner, thank your mentor, forgive someone who hurt you. These are the deposits that make you rich beyond measure. Don't let the busyness of life rob you of its greatest treasure. Build relationships that inspire, support, and uplift you. Because at the end of the day, relationships are the only wealth that truly matters. Adapt or erode. Life has changed. That's not just a saying, it's a law of the universe. Everything evolves, nature, technology, opportunities, challenges, and yet so many people resist change. They cling to comfort zones, outdated beliefs, and old ways of doing things. Narcissists are the worst offenders. They crave control, and change threatens that control. So they dig in their heels, holding on to what worked in the past, even as it crumbles around them. But here's the thing about life, it doesn't stop moving just because you're not ready. Adaptation is the ultimate superpower. It's the ability to see what's coming, to pivot when necessary, and to thrive in the face of uncertainty. The strongest people aren't the ones who never fall, they're the ones who get back up, recalibrate, and keep moving forward. Think about the times in your life when you've grown the most. Were those moments easy, predictable, or comfortable? Of course not. Growth happens when you step into the unknown, when you take risks, when you embrace change instead of fearing it. Adaptation isn't about abandoning who you are, it's about expanding who you are. It's about saying, I'm willing to learn, to evolve, to become better. It's about being flexible enough to bend, but strong enough not to break. But here's the catch, adaptation requires humility. It demands that you let go of the need to always be right, to always be in control. It asks you to admit when you don't know something and to seek out new answers. Narcissists struggle with this because they equate change with weakness. But true strength lies in your ability to evolve. The most successful, fulfilled people are the ones who embrace change as an opportunity, not a threat. When you adapt, you open yourself up to possibilities you never imagined. You discover new talents, meet new people, and create new paths. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones. Adaptation is also about resilience. It's about bouncing back stronger after every setback. It's about saying, this didn't go as planned, but I'm still in the game. The world is moving faster than ever. Industries are changing, relationships are evolving, and challenges are becoming more complex. You can either resist that reality and erode, or you can embrace it and rise. So let me ask you, what's one area of your life where you need to adapt? What's one belief, one habit, one mindset you need to let go of to move forward? Don't fear change. Fear standing still while the world moves on. Because the ones who adapt are the ones who thrive. And you're a thriver. Empathy is strength, not weakness. In a world that glorifies power and dominance, empathy often gets misunderstood. People think of it as softness, as a weakness, as something that leaves you vulnerable. But let me tell you something that will change how you see it forever. Empathy is a superpower. Empathy isn't about being passive or letting people walk all over you. It's about understanding others on a deeper level. It's about stepping into their world, seeing life through their eyes, and meeting them where they are. And when you can do that, you unlock a level of connection and influence that no amount of force or manipulation can ever achieve. Narcissists run from empathy because it demands vulnerability. To truly empathize, you have to let go of your walls, your ego, and your need to always be right. You have to open yourself to feeling someone else's pain, joy, or struggle. That's not weakness, that's courage. Think about the leaders who inspire you most. Are they the ones who bark orders and demand respect, or are they the ones who listen, who care, who make you feel seen and valued? Empathy is what makes those leaders unforgettable. Empathy builds bridges where others see divides. It creates trust where there's doubt. It heals wounds that no amount of power or logic can touch. It's not just a strength, it's a gift. But here's the thing, empathy takes practice. It's easy to sympathize with someone who agrees with you or who's on your side. The real test is empathizing with someone who challenges you, someone who's different from you, someone who might even oppose you. This is where growth happens. This is where you transform. Because when you can understand others, even those who frustrate or hurt you, you free yourself from resentment, anger, and judgment. You step into a space of compassion and power. Empathy doesn't mean you have to agree with everyone or tolerate toxic behavior. It means you see people for who they are and recognize their humanity. It means you respond with understanding, not reaction. And here's the best part, empathy doesn't just help others, it helps you. It sharpens your intuition, deepens your relationships, and makes you a better leader, partner, and friend. Think about it, what would happen if you approached every interaction with empathy? How would your relationships shift? How would your influence grow? How much more peace and joy would you feel in your life? Empathy isn't about giving up your power, it's about using your power for good. It's about lifting others while lifting yourself. It's about creating a world where connection triumphs over conflict. So don't let anyone tell you that empathy is weakness. It's the exact opposite. It's what makes you unstoppable. Your ego is not your friend. Let's talk about the ego. It's that little voice in your head that craves validation, control, and superiority. It's the part of you that wants to be right, to be admired, to feel important. And while the ego can push you to achieve, it can also be your biggest roadblock. Narcissists live in service of their ego. They let it dictate their every move, chasing approval and power at all costs. But here's the truth, your ego is not your friend. It's a trap. The more you feed it, the more it demands until it consumes you. True strength doesn't come from your ego, it comes from your humility. It comes from the ability to say, I don't know I made a mistake or I need help. It comes from putting growth above pride, service above self, and connection above control. The ego hates humility because humility exposes its weakness. But when you silence your ego, you create space for something far more powerful, wisdom. You begin to act from a place of truth, not fear. Think about a time when your ego got in the way. Maybe it kept you from apologizing to someone you love. Maybe it made you cling to a bad decision because you didn't want to admit you were wrong. Now imagine how different that situation could have been if you let humility lead. Your ego will try to convince you that letting go is losing, but it's not. Letting go of your ego is winning. It's freedom, it's clarity, it's stepping into your highest self. Narcissists cling to their ego because they think it's their identity. But your ego is not who you are. It's just a mask, a defense mechanism. And when you remove that mask, you uncover your real power, your authentic self. The world doesn't need more ego-driven people. It needs leaders who are willing to be vulnerable, to admit their flaws, to listen and learn. That's where real impact happens. So ask yourself, where is your ego holding you back? What could you achieve if you let it go? How many relationships could you heal? How much stress could you release? Your ego wants to keep you small, trapped in fear and validation. But you were made for more than that. You were made to rise above it. The journey to greatness isn't about feeding your ego. It's about transcending it. It's about becoming the person who doesn't need applause because they're fueled by purpose. Silence your ego and you'll hear your soul. And when you lead from your soul, there's nothing you can't accomplish. It's never too late to transform. Let's end with this. It's never too late. Never. I don't care how old you are, how many mistakes you've made, or how many times you've fallen. Transformation is always possible. Narcissists often wait until life forces them to change when they're alone, when their health fails, when their world crumbles. But you don't have to wait for a crisis. You can choose to transform right now. Transformation doesn't require perfection. It doesn't demand a clean slate. It starts with one decision, the decision to be better today than you were yesterday. You're not your past. You're not your failures. You're not the opinions of others. You're a work in progress. And every moment is an opportunity to rewrite your story. Some people think change is hard, and yes, it can be. But do you know what's harder? Staying stuck, living a life that doesn't fulfill you. Waking up one day and realizing you didn't become the person you were meant to be. Transformation isn't about becoming someone else, it's about uncovering the best version of yourself. It's about shedding the layers of fear, doubt, and ego to reveal your true power. Every great comeback story starts with a moment of decision. This could be your moment. Right here, right now. You don't have to change everything overnight. Start small. Take one step. Make one shift. And then another. Momentum builds when you move. The past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Learn from it, grow from it, and then let it go. Because your future is waiting, and it's bigger and brighter than you can imagine. Transformation is a choice, and it's a choice you can make today. Let me know how else I can support you. Now, let me bring it all together for you. Life is a journey of choices. Every day, every moment, you're building who you are, shaping what you'll leave behind, and deciding the direction of your future. And here's the truth. You don't have to let the mistakes of the past or the challenges of the present define you. You have the power to rewrite your story starting right now. You've seen how narcissists, trapped in their ego and fear of change, often self-destruct or isolate themselves. But that doesn't have to be your story. You've learned the keys: reflection, intentionality, relationships, adaptability, empathy, humility, and transformation. These aren't just ideas. They're tools to unlock your potential and create the life you've always dreamed of. The best part, it's never too late. No matter where you are, no matter what you've been through, the power to grow, to rise, and to thrive is already inside you. It's waiting for you to tap into it, to say yes to the person you're capable of becoming. So I'll leave you with this. When you look back on your life years from now, what do you want to see? Do you want to see someone who resisted growth and clung to fear, or someone who embraced change, loved deeply, and lived boldly? That choice is yours. Your legacy is being written in every decision you make, and you have the pen in your hand. Write a masterpiece. Make your life an example of courage, compassion, and purpose. Because the world doesn't need another person chasing empty goals. It needs you fully alive, fully present, and fully unstoppable. Now go. Live with intention. Love with an open heart. Transform into the person you're destined to be. And remember, it's not just about who you are today, it's about who you're becoming. You've got this. Your story isn't over, it's just beginning.